Chapter 1. The Last of the Goths. When the armies of Alexander the Great were trampling upon the ancient empires of the East, one country remained undisturbed and undismayed. The people of Arabia sent no humble embassies to the conqueror. Alexander resolved to bring the contemptuous Arabs to his feet. He was preparing to invade their land when death laid its hands upon him, and the Arabs remained unconquered. This was more than 300 years before Christ, and even then the Arabs had long been established in independence in their great desert peninsula. For nearly 1,000 years more, they continued to dwell there in a strange solitude. Great empires sprang up all around them. The successors of Alexander founded the Syrian kingdom of the Seleucids and the Egyptian dynasty of the Ptolemies. Augustus was crowned imperator at Rome. Constantine became the first Christian emperor at Byzantium. The hordes of the barbarians bore down upon the wide-reaching provinces of the Caesars. And still the Arabs remained undisturbed, unexplored, and unsubdued. Their frontier cities might pay homage to Chosroes or Caesar. The legions of Rome might once and again flash across their highland wastes. But such impress was faint and transitory, and left the Arabs unmoved. Hemmed in as they were by the lands ruled by historic dynasties, their deserts and their valor ever kept out the invader, and from the days of remote antiquity to the 7th century of the Christian era, hardly anything was known of this secluded people save that they existed, and that no one attacked them with impunity. Then suddenly a change came over the character of the Arabs. No longer courting seclusion, they came forth before the world, and proceeded in good earnest to conquer it. The change had been caused by one man. Muhammad, the Arabian prophet, began to preach the religion of Islam in the beginning of the 7th century, and his doctrine, falling upon a people prone to quick impulses and susceptible of strong impressions, worked a revolution. What he taught was simple enough. He took the old faith of the Hebrews, which had its disciples in Arabia, and, making such additions and alterations as he thought needful, he preached the worship of one God as a new revelation to a nation of idolaters. It is difficult for us in the present time to understand the irresistible impulse which the simple and unemotional creed of Muhammad gave to the whole people of Arabia, but we know that such religious revolutions have been, and that there is always a mysterious and potent fascination in the personal influence of a true prophet. Muhammad was so far true that he taught honestly and strenuously what he believed to be the only right faith. And there was enough of sublimity in the creed and of enthusiasm in the prophet and his errors to produce that wave of overmastering popular feeling which people call fanaticism. The Arabs before the time of Muhammad had been a collection of rival tribes or clans, excelling in the savage virtues of bravery, hospitality, and even chivalry, and devoted to the pursuit of booty. The prophet turned the Arab tribes, for the nonce, into the Moslem people, filled them with the fervor of martyrs, and added to the greed of plunder the nobler ambition of bringing all mankind to the knowledge of the truth. Before Muhammad died, he was the master of Arabia, and the united tribes who had embraced the Moslem or Mohammedan faith were already spreading over the neighboring lands and subduing the astonished nations. Under his successors, the caliphs, the armies of the Muslimans overran Persia and Egypt and North Africa as far as the Pillars of Hercules, and the muezzins chanted the call to prayer to the faithful over all the land from the river Oxus in Central Asia to the shores of the Atlantic Ocean. The Mohammedans, or Saracens, a word which means Easterns, were checked in Asia Minor by the forces of the Greek emperor.